Jai Jagannath, thanks for coming. We are reading Bhagavad Gita, chapter 17, verse 20. Chapter 17 is dedicated to the different form of faith, according to Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. So, again, if someone is religious, doesn't mean that that person is in Sattva. Because religiousness is something that all human beings have. It depends on who they worship and how they worship. That makes them, dharmic or adharmic. This makes them sattvic, rajasic, or tamasic. If you have questions, as always, stop me when I'm talking anytime. Otherwise, we go on. So,
Sure.
verse 20,
Yeah.
charity. Before we were discussing about austerity, food, austerities, and like that. Now we are talking about charity. Charity that is given out of duty in a proper place and at a proper time to a proper recipient without considering one's selfish advantage is remembered as sattvic. Okay, given out of duty, which is it's a good thing to give charity. In the proper place and the proper time, to the proper recipient, person, or cause, or whatever, without considering one's selfish advantage. Okay. Then we have nice commentary, long commentary. Then we have the verse 21. Charity performed with the desire of obtaining something in return to get a material advantage or without a good sentiment is remembered as being in rajas. So people who want to do charity for electoral purposes or to get famous or respected or to get the gratitude of the people that he's giving benefits, so they will feel obliged and do things for him, for the donor, otherwise. To get any material advantage, even the tax, tax deduction, of course, we can give to one place or another place, so we could give no tax, no donation at all. But many people are attracted to give donations so that they can get tax deduction, and they can also get some benefit from the donation, such maybe some free lodging, they will be guests, they will be invited, and this and that. Then, or without a good sentiment. So it means that you're not giving affection and respect to the recipient of the charity. Unfortunately, the word charity is sometimes, carrying a semantic luggage that is sometimes not so good, because in the general Abrahamic sense, you do charity to the poor people, to people who are below yourself, because people ask for, they're begging, they're poor, they're destitute, and everything. But originally the word charity is coming from the Latin word caritas, and caritas means love. So if we give a donation of charity without a good sentiment, that is not so good. It's in rajas, because we want to feel we are better than other people. And that is already rajas. It's a material advantage. Then we have the charity in tamas. That is charity that is given without proper consideration of time, place, and recipient, without respect or without knowledge. That is considered to be tamas. So when you give a donation to the Red Cross or to, anyway, any cause, like I don't know, whatever people or organization or group, or even political groups, or hospitals, or whatever, if you don't know how they're going to use that donation, that's not good. That's not good. Also, without respect, like many people think that they can help. Someone needs is in a difficult situation, so they give. They give their old stuff, their old, they use shoes, use clothes, and things that they want to get rid of, They basically give garbage. Instead of taking that stuff to the garbage dump, they just give it to the poor, so they think it's charity. I remember when I had the school there in Puri, it was a charity, so we were not charging anything to the students. I was collecting donations for the, paying the teachers, and, for all the materials, and, going around to pick up the kids, and, and everything. And, one donor, yes, I was asking for a small package of things that we actually needed, and she decided to empty her basement. All the things that she didn't know what to do with, including old furniture, And she sent a cargo to India, and that was embarrassing because we actually received this cargo, and because it was coming from outside India, we had to pay luxury furniture import taxes. And how can you pay the teachers with old shoes? And so on. This is a typical Christian mentality. You say, oh, you have a school, oh, let's send them all the old clothes and old shoes you don't use anymore, instead of throwing them away, So, but they are not, they don't understand why we're not so grateful. So what are we going to do with that, Without knowledge, without respect, without proper consideration of what you're doing, Like when when the United Nations sometimes are sending aid, like food or something, they send the old damaged food. They send the old medicine, old damaged foods. That is charity in tamas. Of course, maybe people are so desperate they can even, appreciate that. But, people cannot eat old shoes. Anyway, let's go on. And we have, and this is better than even sattva, better than tamas, better than rajas, better than sattva. It is the transcendental level. So verse 23 says, Om Tat Sat. These are remembered as the three references to Brahman. Since very ancient times, Brahmanas applied them in the study of the Vedas and in the performance of ritual sacrifices, which also include the charity, the austerities, and everything. So what is Om Tat Sat? Om indicates the Brahman. Tat means that, like Tatvamasi, Tat, like that. Sat means good, spiritual, transcendental, beneficial. So Om Tat Sat is a declaration that whatever we're doing, Yad Karoshi, Yad Ashnasi, Yad Juhosi, Dadasi, Yad Kurusva Madarpanam. Do it for God. Do it for Krishna. Do it for God. Whatever you eat, like the chapter started talking about the foods, whatever you sacrifice, whatever the austerities you make, whatever action you take, whatever charity, whatever, always think you are offering that to God. Like there are also two other famous quotes that are recited during the yagyas and similar, religious activities. That is, one is Krishna Arpanam Astu, this is offered to Krishna. Or Vishnu Arpanam Astu, this is offered to Vishnu. And the other is Idam Namama, means this is not mine. I'm offering, but I don't have this sense of ahankara and mamatva. I'm offering because I am just an instrument. Any question there?
Yes, on the charity part,
Yeah.
like sometimes it is difficult for you to know, like let's say you're donating something to
Yeah.
some organization. From the outset, you see, okay, everything looks good, they're using it correctly, but you don't know what internally they might be misusing it or something. So what would happen in that case? Like how it would be considered from our perspective, we did research, we did donation considering it to be in sattva, but if they are misusing, how it would impact, like how this charity would be considered? Is it in sattva or rajas
No,
or
it's still
tamas?
tamas. So it's better not to give. Because it's not
But
helping
in this
anyone.
case, in this way, sometimes genuine also may suffer, who really need and who are
Yeah,
really
but
doing good work.
if
You will
they're
always see.
genuine, they also need to learn to do things in a genuine way. They need to actually give the proper information to the donors. They need to involve the donors to, keep them informed, make them participate. Like when I was collecting donations for the school, I invited, the donors to come and meet the students, meet the families of the students, even spend a few days in the school, getting to know the children, getting to see the work that we were doing, and then every month I was sending a newsletter with all the news and all the information and everything. This is what they should do. This is what they should do. And it is better to give donations to small groups or organizations because they don't have many, lots of expenditures for advertisement, politics, administration, and everything. You go and see some the biggest charities, they spend 70-80% on their own between advertisement and offices, logistics, and people going around traveling. only 20-30% goes to actually help the people who need it. Because it's a big organization, They need to keep up the image. They need to, do lots of stuff. If you want to do more sattvic than tamasic, you need to choose an organization, a group, or even make it yourself. Why not? Charity, everybody has neighbors, we know that in every place in the world there are poor people, who actually need help. There are children who are not getting the proper schooling. There are people who are not getting the sufficient food. So, what's the big deal? We can make a group of friends, and a group of friends, maybe once a month, we get some rice, some atta, some, potatoes, something like that, and then we have some beneficiaries that we know in the area, they're good people, they're in, they have difficulties, and then, just one of you goes and gives the food. And, very unofficially. It's just like going out to the restaurant. What you need? You can just go together and, you buy the food. You want to make a party for you and your friends. Well, you don't need a registration with the government to do that. So, of course, you are sincere and you think you're doing it for a good cause, but if you do it without knowledge, Krishna is saying this is a tamasic. Intention is not sufficient.
No, but you also do your research and you find all good. But we are not police cops or detectives to.
Then it's not without knowledge. The point of the Gita is not saying don't give, donations to the Red Cross. The point of, Krishna is saying don't do it without knowledge. Like lots of people are giving, donations to Mother Teresa's charity. And Mother Teresa's charity has been exposed a lot, but that's not much to expose because Christians are not interested in helping people, without making them convert to Christianity. That's very clear. It's not a mystery. They help the poor, if they convert to Christianity, If they don't, it's already allowed that they don't kill the pagans, They just let them die. Okay, thanks. But this is, how you can say you have researched a charity if you don't know the basics on which they're working. The ideology, if you don't go and check what they're doing, if you don't see their accountings. What kind of research have you done? You've seen a website showing that they're giving food? Is that sufficient as a research? You think that's sufficient? Okay, it's not much, Not much. You know what is the meaning of photo opportunity? You know that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so. It could be good because, even good people make photos to show what they're doing. But it is better to be personally involved as much as possible. Because that's the only way, you can actually have the proper knowledge about what is going on. you know, that is the same also for the temples. You make a donation to the deity, but you know that many temples are controlled by the government, and your donation goes to the government. They make you know, churches and madrasas and, you know, all sorts of stuff that has nothing to do with what you wanted to give to the deity. You know, go to Tirupati. That's, you know, that's the biggest example. Or the pujari steal the money, you know. Or you know, so many things are going on. You know, it's better to go small, grassroots, because you know, there is better opportunity for actually researching and verifying what is actually going on, you know, because, you know, people, you research. How you research? What's your idea? You made your research and everything is good. What did you do to research?
Like you going, like, you know, like while I was in Pune, there was one SOS Children's Villages of India. That was one of the NGOs. So I went to their place. They, like, you know, they explained what they do. I met students also there who are, like, you know, living there from age like 5 to 15. So from that point, it looked okay. So I started donating. Later, I got to know, okay, this might be, like, you know, connected with a missionary, Christian missionary, and not all of
yeah.
So that's where, like, you know, this thing, like, you go, you see everything, it looks good, but you never know how much percentage of it would be used there, and how much of it would go into.
Exactly. You need to actually, you know, when you do research, you can do research in many ways, you know, very superficial, less superficial, you know, not superficial, very deep, you know. It depends on how interested you are in getting the proper knowledge, you know. So the best thing is that you know the people who are doing the charity. You know them, you know personally. You know, it's not difficult to find out if they're Christians or not, you know. So sufficient knowledge should be there. You know, sufficient knowledge should be there. The point is that if we know the ideology behind the organization, you know, it's so important. So important what they actually do. You know, so for example, it's better to, you know, try organizations that give sufficient space to volunteer, you know, volunteer workers. Because you go there and volunteer for, you know, one day, you know, so you can see what they're actually doing. One sec. Okay, so this is the situation. Okay, so this is the best thing when you have you know, you have the opportunity to actually you know, get inside the organization, so you can actually see what's happening. If it is a big organization and say, no, you just give money, you know, trust us, we are a big organization, you know, that's something that should already, you know, start an alarm bell. You know, so because when lots of people, in fact, you know, when they go inside and see the situation, then they change their mind. But there is, you know, no better way of actually understanding, you know, gaining that knowledge that makes you work on a sattvic level. I don't know, does it make sense? Is it clear to understand?
Yes. Yeah, clear.
Of course it takes some effort, more effort. If you have extra money,
Yeah,
you
you do.
don't want to be bothered, you just, write a check, and it's okay, it's good, but it's some amount of good karma you'll get. But because it's under tamas, under ignorance, the good karma is very limited. It's very limited because you're encouraging. If the organization is bad, if they're misusing your funds, your donation, your energy, you also get that karma. Bad one. Get the good karma of helping people in need, and you get the bad karma of people misusing the money. What to speak of the people who give charity to Islam, and the charity is used to give lots of money to the terrorists, the suicide bombers. What kind of karma they will get by giving donations, charity like that. So it's all about knowledge. If you know, that's what Krishna says. Let's go up. Without knowledge, without proper consideration of time, place, and recipient, without respect or without knowledge, is considered to be in tamas. It's not that it must be bad. You're going to get such a bad karma, Well, not necessarily, but it's in tamas because you don't know. You're not doing the right, things in the proper way. I don't know. Is that clearer?
Yes, clear. So we have to do a lot of research and see everything, their balance sheet,
Exactly.
everything to understand, what
And
they're
take
doing.
responsibility of the action. Even if we know we are not the karta, but definitely the Red Cross is not the karta. You're still the karta, but you don't feel that it is based on your material identification, your ego, and everything. You make the choice. But it's a responsible choice. This is basically about responsibility. Sattva is about responsibility. So you see, if you choose to do charity directly, personally, to people you know personally, and you know what they need, you know what they want, they need, and you do it in the right place and time and with respect and affection, and you know what they're going to do with that money. That's the real, the best thing. It's sattvic. So of course it requires some more work. That's why tamas, laziness, is a characteristic of tamas, isn't it?
Yes.
Someone is lazy, they don't want to put sufficient energy into research and finding out and making sure and everything. That's a bit of tamas. Okay, if it is clear, we'll go on. Tat Sat, on the spiritual level. Okay, therefore those who follow Brahman in accordance to the teachings of the scriptures always begin their duties, rituals, charity, austerities, etc. with Om. so that they remember they need to act on the transcendental level, with transcendental consciousness. Verse 25. In this way, those who desire liberation perform the dutiful activities of rituals, austerities, and charity without selfish desire for the results. This is Om Tat Sat. Liberation means Brahman, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. Na sochati na kankshati samasarveshu bhuteshu. Right? And we have verse 26. O son of Pritha, one who engaged sincerely in all duties with a transcendental consciousness and the sentiment of a good person is indicated by Sat, which means eternal, which means good, which means transcendental. Okay, Sat, like sadhu. Oh, okay. There we go. Sadeva somya idam agrasit. In the beginning there was only Sat. Sat is another name of God. 27. It is also said that Sat indicates the characteristic of the action or the purpose for which it is performed. Sat means, the establishment. Sat also indicates to establish, something that is and continues to be. And we have 28. O son of Pritha, whatever action of ritual offering, charity, or austerity is performed without faith and in a material consciousness, it does not bring good results after death or even in this life. Okay, doesn't mean that it doesn't bring any good result, but after you drawn out the balance sheet, in the end it's not so good, because as we said, karma is also there. So we need to work in a proper consciousness. And this was chapter 17. Any other question?
This last word, without faith, in the sense like faith in the Supreme, or without faith in, let's say I'm donating to somebody, I don't have faith in, I don't know how he's going to use it. I have some sort of doubt.
Okay,
I'm 90% sure they are going to do good, but 10% doubt. So.
Yeah. This faith is the good consciousness, as they say, in good faith. Faith in the sense that they believe they have done all their, due diligence. They're doing it with faith in God, faith in the scriptures, faith in the instructions of Krishna, faith in the verification they have made, But that requires sincerity. Faith means sincerity. Shraddha. Shraddha is a very general term. Ashraddhaya, hutam, dattam. And talking about faith means offering sacrifice, hutam. When someone is offering oblations in the fire, the ritual, the Agnihotra, without faith, it's useless. It's just throwing butter away in the ash, throwing butter away. Why do they do that? They do that because, they want to look like they're big religious people, big religious people, big Brahmin, big this, big that. there is no faith. They don't really believe what they're doing. They don't understand what they're doing. They don't believe what they're doing. So it's without faith. That tam, hutam, offered in sacrifice, in a ritual. That tam, given in charity. Tapa tap tam, performed as austerity. Kritam, any action. Chayat asat, in the material consciousness. So as asat, negative also, not only material and temporary, but also in the bad way. So like there are people who, offer sacrifice for, to bring, to cause damage to others. Right, that's not exactly good result. So I don't know, is that clearer?
Yeah, clear.
So this is the end of the chapter. So the best thing is to remember that we are doing, whatever we do, we're doing for Sat. Om Tat Sat. We are dedicating our action as a service to God, to the eternal Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavad. This is the best. Then, if we cannot do that, we do a sattva. If we, need some encouragement, incentive, we can put a little bit of rajas. Means, we have to consider it's good for us. It's good for our personal development. It's good for our progress, evolution. That's still rajas, but it's better than electoral photo opportunities of rice bags. That's the idea. So the good thing, the beauty of Vedic knowledge, Vedic system, is that the approach is very elastic. It's very flexible. If, like Krishna said in chapter 17, if you cannot do this, okay, you do this. If you cannot do this, you also can, you can, do that. And if you cannot do that, okay, there's something else you can do, which is special to Hinduism. It doesn't exist in any other ideology. Any other question?
No. Good.
Okay, so I think, we finished the chapter. So next time we attack the chapter 18, which is the last chapter of Gita, and it's very long. It will take a few meetings to do that. Okay, so thank you so much for participating, and
thank you for your time.
Jai Jagannath, Radhe Radhe.
Jai Jagannath. Radhe Radhe.